Welcome to Love, Nature, and Animals, the channel where we share true, emotional, and unforgettable stories about the incredible bond between humans and wildlife. From acts of compassion to moments of wild wonder, every story is a reminder of how deeply connected we are to the natural world. If you believe that nature still has something to teach us about courage, trust, and love, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, and share this story if it touched your heart. Your support helps us bring more true and touching stories of the wild to life. In the dense tropical rainforest of the Western Ghats, where sunlight barely filters through the thick canopy at noon, lived a man named Ravi. He had been blind since the age of 16 after a mining tunnel collapse. After the tragedy, he left the city behind and sought peace deep in the forest, choosing solitude in nature. Locals called him the Blind Forest Man, but they also said no one had ever seen Ravi afraid, screaming, or harming any living creature. Each morning, he walked with a long bamboo stick, feeling the ground, listening to birds to guide his way. He couldn't see the forest, but he could hear it. One early monsoon day, with the air thick with humidity and the ground slick with mud, Ravi heard something unusual, a short, painful cry. He stopped. Slowly, he listened again. The sound returned, this time weaker. Without hesitation, he followed the cry. His feet, though blind, had learned the terrain, and then he touched a hot, shivering, soaked body. It was a black panther cub, barely a month old, its leg caught in a rusty snare. Ravi's heart clenched, not in fear, but in fury. Who would lay traps in such a sacred place? He knelt down, using the small knife he always carried to cut the wire. Each cut made the cub tense and cry out, but it never lashed at him. When the final strand snapped, Ravi wrapped the injured leg in his shirt and lifted the cub, uncertain of what lay ahead. Ravi brought the panther cub back to his tiny hut by the stream where he lived alone. He boiled water, cleaned the wound, applied forest honey and medicinal leaves. The animal lay motionless for 2 days, barely breathing, occasionally whimpering. He named it Kiran, meaning a ray of light. For a week, Ravi cared for it as if it were his own blood. Though he couldn't see its eyes, he could feel them. When he stroked its head, fed it milk through a bamboo tube, or listened to it breathe beside his bed during a heavy night storm. There were nights Kiran trembled from thunder, only calming when its body was curled into Ravi's chest. In the darkness, amidst the rain and rustling trees, 2 lonely souls, man and beast, had found each other. One night, while Ravi slept, a deep growl echoed from the forest. It wasn't like any animal sound he'd heard before. Deep, close, long, like a question or a call. Kieran whimpered and backed into a corner. Ravi understood. It was its mother. The next morning, Ravi opened the door. He let Kieran sit on the porch. The cub shivered, not wanting to leave, but the growl came again, closer, slower, deliberate. Ravi couldn't see, but he could hear the heavy footsteps draw near. A shift in the wind carried the sharp scent of a full-grown panther. Then he felt a large presence pass by, close, very close. He knelt down, reached his hand toward Kieran, and whispered, "Go. Your mother is here." No growl, no clawing, just footsteps. Then, silence. Kieran was gone. Ravi sat motionless all morning. His hand still felt the warmth of that small body. Time passed. Ravi continued life in the forest. But a few months later, odd things began to happen. Once, a dead hare appeared on his doorstep. Another morning, a bundle of rare medicinal leaves, the kind only villagers knew to harvest, was neatly placed on his stone table. One stormy night, when a tree fell across his hut, someone or something had dragged the trunk away by dawn, without human footprints. He couldn't see anything, but he knew a pair of eyes was watching him from the forest. One night, while gathering dry wood, Ravi heard heavy but quiet footsteps. He froze. Then a nose touched his hand, cold, damp, and familiar. "Kieran," he whispered, not needing to confirm. It didn't stay long. But from that night onward, Ravi's evenings changed. He could feel the presence nearby, a loyal shadow quietly breathing with him. A year later, while fetching water, Ravi slipped into a rocky crevice and broke his leg. He lay in the forest, exhausted, starving, unable to move. Rain poured down, flooding the trench. Then, when all hope seemed gone, he heard that familiar growl. Something warm, strong, and rough licked his face. He smiled faintly. "Kieran?" Not long after, a villager found him. Beside him stood a massive black panther, guarding him, refusing to let anyone near until it recognized the human. Ravi survived. People still talk about the blind man's black panther. No one dared harm it, for it had once protected a human, just as the human had once saved it. After that, Ravi grew weaker. He no longer wandered far. Each day, he sat outside his hut, playing a bamboo flute at sunset, for someone in the forest to hear. Years later, villagers found paw prints circling Ravi's grave. Each monsoon, each dry season, a silent greeting No one saw it, but everyone knew Kieran still came back. Sometimes kindness doesn't need light to be seen. It only needs to be felt through life, through heart, and through instinct that defies instinct.